In 1900s, they thought that they knew everything about physics. And then Einstein came along in 1905 and showed that they were wrong. And every so often people say, well, now we know everything. And they're always wrong. And I think that's wonderful.
There is something powerful about saying, I don't know, and I have no way of proving this. I'm just really curious about this.
Science is a pursuit where you don't know where you're going to find. And kind of the joy of that, I think, is that usually you design a study, real simple. If you get A, that means B. If you get C, that means D. And of course, you end up getting X. How do we make sense of these results?
And so being systematic and organized and, understanding how to ask questions, how to answer the questions, how to collect the data and analyze the data to let you draw conclusions to answer the questions, that's all part of what I do as a scientist.
When you're a scientist, you do need answers, but I think most, if not all scientists would admit that a lot of their answers are the answer for now.
There's always more to investigate, and even when you've figured out the equation, you haven't figured out how that equation affects the next one, or the next one after that, or the next one after that.
Science is all about questioning, and sometimes not coming up with answers. I like that about Judaism. It feels like science to me.
There's a lot of gray in Judaism. There's a lot of questions. There's a sense that questions and not knowing, it's not just that it's okay, but that it's actually sort of admirable, and that the work is to grapple and to ask the questions and to explore.
And the whole process of looking at something, asking questions, trying to understand what it means, it's very similar.
The Talmud, for example, is really a series of questions, many of which are not even answered. Asking those questions, whether they be about the biggest of them, right, God's existence, where do we come from, to the smallest questions, which is, can I eat this or can I eat that? They're asked and they're opined, but they're not really answered in any kind of definitive way. There is still a sort of mystery component to both the religious life and the scientific life, the one that says, that there's always more to investigate. And, no matter how much we may seek meaning, no matter how much we may want to know, no matter how many things in our age we have learned, there is always going to be some question mark at the end of some equation that requires us to go further. And, to me, I'm excited by that rather than held back by it.